Brian, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. If I dare challenge the US government by suing them, I may be able to finally get my asylum interview, but they're definitely going to deny my asylum case to get revenge on me. I hear this sentiment all the time when I recommend that asylum seekers bring a lawsuit to force the government to take action on the person's stalled asylum case. In this video, I'm going to tell you why that's just not true. I'm going to give you 3 reasons why suing the government in order to get them to move your stalled asylum case forward will not hurt your underlying claim. I'm Brian Manning, and I used to be an asylum officer with the government. But now, as an asylum lawyer, I help immigrants all over the country secure their future in America through asylum. Let me know in the comments if you've got an asylum case pending or are considering applying. I'd especially like to hear from you if you've been waiting for an asylum interview for multiple years. If you've been waiting a long time for your asylum interview at USCIS, you may be considering suing the government to force them to give you your interview. I love helping my clients do this. I love helping them assert their rights so that they can get their interview and move on with their lives. But when I raise this prospect, suing the government, with a client who's been waiting years for their interview, I almost always get this question. Will doing that hurt my asylum case? Like, will the fact that I've sued the US government make the asylum officer who will interview me and make a decision in my case mad at me? Will it make me look bad or too aggressive, or otherwise prejudice my asylum case? Perfectly reasonable questions. I completely understand. Yes, I understand why you might think that taking this kind of action might have negative consequences for your underlying asylum case. It's normal to be concerned. Most people are when I tell them that we can likely force action in their long-stalled asylum case by bringing a mandamus lawsuit. Some people worry that the government will want to punish them for having sued, that it will make USCIS mad, or perhaps make the person look too aggressive or pushy or something like that. And in many countries, standing up to the government in this way, asserting one's rights through a lawsuit in court, is seen as a very aggressive move. It's seen as confrontational and is just something that isn't normally done. So people think that suing might come back to haunt them, that it'll make the asylum officer who interviews them and adjudicates the claim less likely to approve them. Again, these concerns are completely reasonable, but they are, for several reasons, misplaced. Here are 3 reasons why suing to get your asylum interview scheduled won't hurt your chances for winning asylum. First, the asylum officer who adjudicates your case might not even know that you've filed a lawsuit. Asylum officers are busy and focused on their tasks, which involve reviewing application materials and conducting interviews. They aren't typically involved in or informed about ongoing lawsuits related to asylum interview scheduling. I used to be an asylum officer with the government, and I never knew that someone had sued or threatened to sue the government to get their interview scheduled. This kind of information simply didn't make it into the asylum case file, and no one told me about it. By the way, if you want to maximize your chances for asylum success, then be sure to hit the subscribe button and bell notification so you don't miss the insights that I share on this channel. Okay, number 2. I'm confident that suing to force your interview won't hurt your underlying asylum case because even if the officer does know that you sued, they simply won't care. The asylum officer likely won't care or view it in a negative light should they become aware. You see, in the United States, we're a very litigious society. What does that word, litigious, mean? It's a fancy word to mean that we sue a lot. In the United States, suing just isn't a big deal. We do it all the time. It's almost like taking out the trash. No big deal. So if the officer learns you've sued the government, they're probably not going to react strongly to that information. It's just not a big thing for us. And furthermore, I think that many asylum officers are actually sympathetic to your plight and find it completely reasonable that you'd take action to ensure you get something that's legally owed to you. They understand that people in your position are tired of waiting, that you just want to get this behind you so that you can get your immigration situation sorted, so that you can move on with your life with confidence around your ability to stay permanently in the United States. It's reasonable that someone in this position would sue. Okay, number 3. Even if an asylum officer does hold against you the fact that you sued, they still cannot use this as a reason to deny your claim. It's not a legitimate reason they can point to in analyzing your eligibility for asylum. You see, if the facts of your case indicate that you're eligible for asylum, the immigration officer has to point to something specific that rules you out. They have to have an actual valid reason to deny you, and the fact that you sued the government is not such a reason. To be clear, they have to justify to their supervisor in writing their reasons for denying someone, and there are a limited number of negative factors that they can cite in justifying a negative decision. The fact that someone sued in a mandamus lawsuit is not one such factor. They literally cannot use it as ammunition and justify a negative decision against you. So in summary, you're truly not subjecting yourself to risk by suing the US government to move your asylum case forward because 1. The officer in your case might not even know that you sued. 2. Even if they do know, they probably won't care or view it as something negative. And 3. Even if they wanted to use it against you, they couldn't, because it's not permissible under USCIS rules for justifying a negative asylum decision. Listen, for these reasons, I do not worry at all about potential blowback from my clients when they take the very reasonable step of suing the government to get their asylum case unstuck. In fact, it's an extremely powerful tool that we've been using to great effect of late for our clients. And I can tell you this, we are not seeing asylum officers react negatively to us suing the government. We're not seeing an increased denial rate in cases where we've sued to force an interview. So I wholeheartedly believe that you've got nothing to worry about in taking charge of your future by bringing a mandamus lawsuit.
If you're ready to take the next step and get help with your asylum case, then please call my office today. Remember, we help people all over the country, so it doesn't matter where you live. Call us now to schedule an asylum strategy session so that we can help you secure your future in America through asylum. Again, I'm Brian Manning, and it's an honor to serve you in your asylum journey.